I was called into a consultation yesterday on a home that was just purchased. This house is just sold, and the new homeowner, who's not living there yet, asked me to advise her on her trees. So my first observation is that the original design of this house was very much a forest plantation of redwood trees and deodar cedars. And clearly the redwood trees are starting to succumb to the pitch canker disease, the redwood canker disease that I've spoken about in a lot of my videos. Some of the trees look pretty good, but once again, we are in a drought environment, and these trees require an awful lot of water. So the water consumption is very high. Then she took me in the backyard, and the first observation was that when the house was built, they hired a landscape architect who did an amazing job of designing swimming pool and pathways, but the choice of plantings that they put in many cases were really incorrect. They put in, I'm guessing, now this is a total guess, but I'm guessing that the person that built the house requested a lot of privacy and liked the idea of the redwood forest. So the landscape architect, rather than choosing the correct species of tree, well, here's a good one. They did put in a crepe myrtle, which is a smaller growing species. This one's correct. So they're not all mistakes, but the mistakes that were made are horrendous. So they've got this beautiful pool. I mean, this thing is amazing. This wall that goes all the way around. It's about a 5-foot drop down into the pool. And along the edges of the pool and around the entire property, they've put redwood trees that are not mature, but they're getting pretty big. And the areas that they've got to grow are being impacted by roots. So they've got these pavers all the way around that are starting to come up around the area, and the trees that are growing right next to the pool and actually right on the edge of the pool are going to get bigger. And it doesn't take an arborist to figure out that, yeah, this tree is going to get a lot bigger. Some of them are a little bit further back and they're not too bad, but wait till you see what's next to the edge of the pool. This is absolutely nuts, to plant these trees so close. Here is a deodar cedar, and it's right on the edge of the pool. This is ridiculous. It's going to break up an infrastructure of design that should be absolutely gorgeous. That the tree choice, it was all because of the tree choice. And I could go on and on and on and name so many good trees that could have gone in here. And I don't know who the architect was, the landscape architect that designed this. He didn't care or didn't know, or just listened to what the customer said and did it anyway. I don't know, but it's stupid, really stupid. And there's also a Canary Island date palm in the corner here. If you've watched my previous video on date palms, you know how much I don't like these trees. Look at those things. Those are spikes that you could break off and nail into a 2x4. Getting back to the pool, there's this interesting little tunnel down there. I have no idea where it goes. I asked the new owner, and she says, I don't know. I've not been in there. I don't know what's in it. Some kind of room. I can only imagine what's in there. So walking around the pavers, I did spot a lot of areas where the roots are coming up and they're starting to lift the pavers. On the one hand, the pavers are a pervious surface that water can infiltrate through, which will allow the trees to grow, but the roots that grow along the surface will lift up this infrastructure of hardscaping that eventually is going to destroy it. So, all the money that went into designing this pool and the pathways and this whole area is wrong. Here's another mistake. They put in a beautiful flowering cherry. It's a grafted tree. And they planted it under the canopy of the big shade trees, so it doesn't survive. There's a deodar cedar here, and if you look really close, you can see that it's starting to exhibit some of the yellow pitch that's coming up. And look up into the canopy of this tree. You shouldn't see that much blue sky. This tree only has about less than half of the foliage that it should have. I've got a tennis court over there, and there's a red ironbark eucalyptus, and there's a very, very large limb that I said that thing needs to be lightened up before it splits. Understanding weaknesses in species is very important, and this particular species, this variety of eucalyptus, is recognized for limb failures. So I said that was very important. She does like vegetable gardening, and there's an area for vegetable gardening over on the side, so that's going to be her little hobby area. But once again, look at the way these trees are put in amongst all the rocks and all the structure. It's like they're still in pots. Which may be part of the reason that they're not as big as they should be. This house was built in the 70s, so these trees are all about 40, maybe 45 years old. And if they were out in a lawn environment, they would be bigger. Back to the front yard, they've got a lot of trees. You can see some of them are doing better, some of them are not so good. And I took a peek over at the neighbor's yard, and they're doing construction over there, so they've turned off the water. Look at those birch trees. You turn off the water, and some trees just die. Oh well, thanks for watching. I hope that this was useful to you.